Hey everybody, I wanted to show you all how to do continuous brew kombucha. So if you've gone to any of my classes before or you started making kombucha, you probably like it a lot and you'd like to maybe have more of it at a time. For me personally, I crave it a lot more in the spring and summer, and my kids like it and my husband will drink it occasionally. So for us, continuous brew is just a lot easier. So what you need is a crock. If you're going to use ceramic or then you can use glass. Glass, you just want to make sure you put a towel around it so it can kind of be dark, but you just want to make sure it's lead free. So I have in this crock, it's got a spigot on it, so I don't know if you can see that, so I can pour it out. I also have a temperature control on here, so I can kind of know if it needs to be a little bit warmer or not. But anyways, in this crock, I'm starting out with about 2 gallons of sweetened tea. In the sweetened tea, you just use black tea and you use about 1 cup of sugar per gallon. And the SCOBY and the starter culture are going to eat up the sugar that you put in here and turn it into really beneficial acids. So it's a really awesome drink. So you're going to let your tea cool down so it's not too warm, because if it's too warm, it'll kill the beneficial bacteria in it. So to these 2 gallons, I'm going to take some kombucha that is finished. So this is going to be my starter culture. I'm going to add about 1/2 gallon. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to just add this. And then I'm going to take now a SCOBY and add it. Now, normally if you've been brewing in just a gallon jar, your SCOBY is going to be kind of smaller because it'll fit your jar. But because I've brewed continuous brew before, my kombucha SCOBY is really big because it gets as big as your jar. So don't be afraid by the looks of this thing. But this is my continuous brew SCOBY. Now this is really thin, but this is about the size it will be, okay? So I'm just gonna plop that sucker right in there. And it might go down to the bottom, it might kind of float to the top, it's fine. The longer it sits, the more it'll get right at the top and it'll kind of seal it off. The great thing about continuous brew kombucha is it's just, number one, it's just so much easier because I'm not changing containers all the time. I basically will let this sit for a week, and then I will pour out just through my spigot. So I see that there, just through my spigot, I'll pull it to the edge of the counter, and through my spigot, I'll pour out about 1.5 gallons about every week. And then I'll just add exact 1.5 gallons, since that's what I took out. I'll add 1.5 gallons of the sweet tea back in. I put it on a towel all the time, so it's easy to pull on off my counter. You can get a fancy actual stand, but I just haven't gone that far yet. You also want to make sure it's covered so you don't have issues with fruit flies or anything like that. I usually you can use a tea towel or paper towels and just pop your lid right on there. You can maybe set something across the top to make sure it's sealed better because you just don't want any bugs or anything in it. And that's it. You just let it sit there. In about a week, I'll check it, and I can check it by just pouring a little bit out and tasting it and see if it's ready. You really only have to clean your crock out a few times a year, and you might want to check, make sure your SCOBY doesn't get too thick. If it gets way too thick and you're not getting very much kombucha out, you'll want to change it out or pull some of your SCOBY off. But the thicker your SCOBY gets, the faster it'll eat through all of your sweet tea, and it'll make kombucha really fast. So that's another reason why I like it so much, is because since we like to drink it, I just like to have it faster and more of it.